following podcast is brought to you by Astro Panda Productions. For more information or to find other great shows, visit astropandaproductions.com or visit the Astro Panda Productions page on blogtalkradio.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Pop Collectors Alliance podcast, episode 16. Policies suck, and so do the people that exploit them. I am your host, Rick, and I'm always, not really always, but as always, and sometimes, joined by my strong-bearded co-host, Mr. Piper. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing abnormally positive, abnormally well. No, it's not abnormal for me to do well.
I like to give a disclaimer. One, we have already recorded this intro, and I recorded it with my mic on mute. So this is the second attempt, but I am.
No, it works out. It's fine.
It just works. We just go with the flow. That's what we do here. But I'm going to give my disclaimer of negativity. The gray cloud of negativity has come to visit me today. And for that reason, you might hear a little bit of negative stuff, maybe some good rants and raves from Rick this episode. But not to fear, Piper is here to turn my frown upside down, my friends. We have switched roles this episode. Not really that Piper's negative or anything, but, you know.
I'm kind of negative.
Sometimes, but not always. As always, this is the only podcast on the internet dedicated to returning collecting to the pop collector. And as we say in our groups and on our page and in our lives every single day, anytime you join us on the Pop Collectors Alliance, my friends, you are entering the no flip zone. And welcome to the no flip zone. As we start out every week with our weekly pickups, I toned it down just a little bit. I went from buying my local Hot Topic store out of Pop to picking up 3 or 4 things this week. So change of pattern there. I was able to pick up some Game of Thrones in sort of a bulk purchase, which I'm just going to put the announcement on the podcast. If you guys know people that are getting rid of their collections that we as the Pop Collectors Alliance could benefit from, I'm going to put this announcement out there. Tell them to contact us. Email us at info@popcollectorsalliance.com. Let us know of the collection that you want to sell. We will pay you for that collection. Hopefully you're near me. I prefer to do things that are near me or that you're somebody that can pack up pops really, really well and help us avoid any damage. But I'm not going to rule anything out. Contact us at info@popcollectorsalliance.com and we will buy your collection. I mean, I get that's not too infomercial, is it, Piper?
No, I mean, it's fine.
We're
just trying to help people out. We're trying to help people out, and we're spreading the wealth.
Part of the no flip zone is that we constantly search for deals and good exclusives and things that can benefit our members. So we do giveaways, we do cost plus shipping events, we're going to do conventions, and all of these events, they're going to be giveaways at those events as well, and there's going to be mystery boxes, there's going to be from the vault on our website, all of these things that we've talked about, I'll get to when we do the announcements, but that's what this benefits, and that's what our goal is. So, with that, back to what I picked up this week, I did buy some of those Game of Thrones pops that I mentioned, some of the rare ones. As always, you will benefit from that Pop Collectors Alliance. And then the Walmart Cuphead exclusive, I was actually able to pick that up tonight. It's something that my son really wanted, so good for him. I was able to get that. And then they did a restock of the Morty Alien Pops at Hot Topic, and I think I picked up 2 of those for the Alliance. So look for those in the near future. Piper, what'd you pick up?
I was trying to think, what did I pick up? I tried to pick up some of the Hades chase, but horrible local flippers decided to beat me to that. So I was pretty bummed about that. I have a story about that. Maybe we can tell it a little bit later. But I did get today, I got the metallic Genie Dorbz. It was, who was that exclusive to? Do you remember?
I don't know. I know it's exclusive to WonderCon. I don't remember who was selling it, but I know it had free shipping.
Yeah, it was labeled as exclusive to them too, but it sold out pretty fast. So it's all gone for sure. I got that. I was able to get the glow in the dark Lucky Charms Leprechaun. I know I had to rub that in because you overslept on that one. I know, but it's one that I'm excited I'm getting. So I got that guy. I did get the Flock Jeffrey from the old Sad Toys R Us, and I was able to get him on the Funko Shop. And I also picked up the Stan Lee General. Yeah, the Walmart, which is weird because it shipped from Funko. So I don't know if Funko is selling. I didn't pay attention when I bought it. I don't know if Funko is selling on Walmart site.
Yeah, well, or you're just like that out of it that you don't know where you ordered it from.
It happens. It happens that way. So yeah, I didn't get a ton of stuff. Oh wait, you know what? I got some Game of Thrones stuff too. Yeah. Now that you say that.
Yep.
I picked up the Davos Seaworth and the season, whatever. What season is this? Season 7 Jon Snow, where he's in the salty mountains.
Yeah, and he's got his King of the North outfit on.
Yeah, his hair's slicked back. He looks very fancy. And then I also got the Daenerys Targaryen on the Rock Throne.
Yeah, from Dragonstone.
I can't think of it.
Dragonstone.
I can't remember the names of any place.
It's the Dragonstone. Oh,
yes, the Dragonstone Throne. Yeah. So I got those, but unfortunately, I didn't really notice this when I was in Hot Topic. All of them are damaged. I looked at them. I know I looked at them in the store and they look good to me, but Hot Topic's dark. it's like a really really dingy steakhouse. So you can't see anything.
I was gonna say steakhouse too.
So I got it to work. I got up to the office and I started looking at them. I was showing one of the people I work with, and I was like, "Hey, check these out." And she's like, "Oh, these are really messed up." And I was like, "What?" And I looked at them. Every single one of them was really messed up. So I'm gonna have to return those. See if they still have some other ones I can swap them out for.
So in items that Piper didn't pick up this week, really, he's temporarily holding them. And I think there was some kind of pop that you missed that was important, that we had a discussion about whether or not you should buy that pop. And
no, that we didn't.
Okay. All right then.
It's a secret.
We'll save that for another day, my friends.
It will be. Maybe we'll make some of that.
I do have other things that I forgot to mention. I did get Hades that I ordered online in hopes of getting a chase. So that is here. It's just in holding at the Hot Topic.
You might get one chase in there, but your luck, you're gonna get an Olaf in there for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I said about yours. I'm like, I hope that the one is Olaf. I really want to get just a whole box full of porgs. That's what I'm hoping. Trolled you, flocked porg.
Joke's on you. I wanted these.
Yes, exactly. They're going to match up nicely with this 10-inch porg I got coming from Target.
I'm going to laugh if you don't get the 10-inch porg. You're going to be so let down.
So there's the thing in life where you say, okay, there are instances where something doesn't happen and you tried, and there's instances where it does no matter what. That is the 10-inch porg.
Are you talking about The Secret?
Yes, exactly. You nailed it. Exactly.
You have a dream board, and it's just a bunch of pictures of porgs and some string connecting them all.
Dude, you nailed it. You totally nailed that one. And it's going to happen. I've seen the vision in my head of me holding this behemoth of a chicken monster in my hands and bringing it back and setting it amongst the other chicken monsters that are little babies, and then putting them in front of a green screen and just having all sorts of fun with this. So the 10-inch porg is going to belong to me. I think I've gotten every 10-inch pop so far.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Have you ever been out hunting pops, and then you have a vision, and you're like, for some reason, you're like, I need to go to this store, and you go there and you find a chase?
That has never happened.
Has that ever occurred to you?
No, that's never happened to me.
Okay, so this has happened to me. I was out one day, and I get frustrated with Target because they never have anything. Honestly, our Target is real. Remember, you went to that one Target, and I don't remember where you were, and you took a photo, and you're making fun of it. You're like, the only thing they have is like Snoke or something like
Yeah,
this.
and
Just
the
like
Walking
nothing
Dead
there.
mystery minis.
Yeah. Okay. So my Target is always like that, and I never find anything. I was out with, I think it was with my daughter. We were out looking at stuff. Who knows what we were doing? We may have been at the mall because she wanted to go ride the, I don't know, one of the rides at the mall. And I had this thought. I was like, man, I really need to go to Target and look at their pops. So I go to Target and I'm looking around and I'm like, they don't really have anything. And then I looked in like a weird spot. I don't even remember where it was. I looked over and right there was sitting 8-bit Demogorgon Chase. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for this one. So I got it. And it was all because of my vision. I had my pop telepathy.
What's your address? I'm calling the mental institution right now. No, I don't. I've never had that. I've had a feeling around about days, but it's all based off of information. Like, I think that this hot topic.
I don't go to Target enough.
Well, that's the thing, is that Target's like Target and Walmart here especially. So this is a thing, right? The WB mystery minis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in them. I collected them for a couple friends, and if they're listening to this podcast, they know who they are. Because a lot of times, half of my hobby is like going out and looking for stuff, but also looking for stuff that other people want, because it pleases me to get them these things. So for the WB mystery minis, that was the case. I was like, man, I'm going to find all of these here. They have hit every Target in the Dallas and Fort Worth area. I'm not lying, people, when I say this. They have hit every Target in the Dallas Fort Worth area. One more time. Every Target in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I have not seen one of them anywhere. I've not seen one in any Target because people have bought them all. And I was like, oh, really? It'd be cool to have Speedy Gonzalez, you know? That'd be a cool little mystery mini to have. It's something like, I like the pop. I think the pop was really cool. It'd be super sweet to have that as a mystery mini. No, that's not the case. So it's always been that with Target and Walmart. I go into Walmart and I see 15 Steves from Minecraft in gold armor just staring at me like they want to murder me. From the shelf. Like, you again? This jerk off again coming in here looking at us hoping for something? Sucker. They're just like taunting me when I walk down the pop aisle.
You're talking about the WB mystery minis. I don't collect a lot of lines of mystery minis, but for some reason I started collecting that one.
Well, good luck.
Well, I'm just letting you know that I do have a Speedy Gonzalez.
You do. Well, that's good though. I mean, that's something I thought that would be cool. I mean, I would never collect it in general because I just like to collect things that are really close to what I have. And if I got Speedy, I'd probably give them away to somebody. But I just think that sometimes it's just gratifying to find a box of mystery minis and find the rare one. And
yeah. Dude, that's me. I like the hunt more than like, oh, I found the cool thing. No, I like opening them up. I could just get 1 in 6s all day, and I'm still excited because I'm opening boxes. It's like Christmas for kids.
Hooray!
Hooray! I opened a toy. Next.
I don't think there's anything else we picked up this week. I'll pick up those boxes. I need to do an unboxing of these mystery minis that have been sitting in my house for, I want to say 13 days now, waiting to be unboxed. It's just, take us out of here. And I can't get in front of a camera because the hamster that runs my internet speed always takes a break every evening. So I've got to figure out a way to get him and Nikolai Tesla out of the grave so I can get at least 10 down and 5 up. But I don't know when that's going to happen. So good luck.
I think maybe it's time that we get a studio.
Yeah. Okay. Please write all of your checks to the Pop Collectors Alliance. Big things like the news about Toys R Us that I'm not going to talk about, but I'll briefly say something about the campaign to save them. That's raised $200 million on what is that? The one Give Me Money site. GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, and it has a disclaimer in there that says this is a subsidiary company that's going to look at a potential into saving Toys R Us. So it's not even
Somebody
Toys.
somebody should let them know that they might need to hurry up with that because it's already stuff's going away.
Well, I mean,
I don't want them to have to buy new fixtures.
They're not going to save them. They're going to create one store and they're going to call it Toys R We, and they're going to put like 15 headless Barbie dolls in there that they salvaged from the Toys R Us severance packages, and they're going to call that a store, and then take your $200 million and then go be a prince in Nigeria somewhere because they're not saving Toys R Us.
Toys R This.
What'd you say?
They're going to open the Toys R This.
Yeah, Toys R This. Hey.
Ain't no us. It's just this.
It's just one porg, 10-inch porg from Target in a store standing outside the window.
Why is there a Target exclusive in just an empty warehouse?
Why is there a Target exclusive in a Toys R This? What is a Toys R This? Congratulations. We spent $200 million on vacations and partying. And good news for you, we spent $10,000 on this empty abandoned building and $30 on this porg that we're putting in it and calling it a store.
It could be an art exhibit.
Oh,
You could charge people to come in and they'll walk in and there's just like a desk lamp shining on a 10-inch porg in the middle of an empty warehouse. And that's all you get.
Congratulations.
Thanks for your money.
Yeah, thanks for all the fish, and they're just bouncing. But back to the grind here. So announcements this week, live Pop Swap, late April, going to not happen in late April. It's going to be in May. And primarily because securing a room in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is proving to be troublesome. And getting everything in line so we can line it up is also proving to be troublesome. And I wanted to do it the first week of May. However, Texas Frightmare Weekend is that weekend. And the Pop Collectors Alliance will be attending that event. Whether Piper comes up here with me or not, I will be there snapping pictures of people and maybe doing some.
Be there. Why you say it like
it's just short notice.
It's like 2 months away.
It's May 5th.
Yeah, 2 months or a month away.
There you go. I know. I just announced it live.
I'll do math.
We're going to camp out and live in a tent by the airport. That's where. But Texas Frightmare Weekend is a really good time. If you haven't been to Texas Frightmare Weekend, this year they've got a bombshell list of guests that you should look at. Go to TexasFrightmareWeekend.com. You can check out all the guest lineups. You'll find us there walking around, taking pictures with people. Some great cosplay there. There are pops there. And surprisingly, if you get there on Friday, they tend to be a good amount of horror pops there too. So if you are into the horror pop thing, check out Texas Frightmare Weekend, TexasFrightmareWeekend.com, and then look for us there. Fan Expo Dallas is going to be April 6th through the 8th. We are in booth 449. So we have a booth number now. 449. You can find us there, and it is going to be huge. I looked at the convention floor. It's doubled in size. I mean, they've got a whole stage set up to do panels. They've got a huge VIP area, and they've probably, I want to say, almost doubled the exhibitor space. So it's going to be a grand old time. And if you can come out and see us there, we're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to have pop there that you can purchase. We're going to be showing off our Patreon boxes, some of the awesome t-shirts designs. And if you're part of our Patreon package now, you've already seen one of the new t-shirt designs. So good for you, because it is awesome.
Yeah, there's a new shirt. So go and support us by purchasing it. We have to thank our buddy Dan from the community. He is a awesome graphic designer, and he is the one responsible for the cool new, I will say, the title of the shirt, we shall call it the, I don't know, what is it? For the Alliance. That's what it is.
For the Alliance Fist of Doom.
It does. It kind of looks like Thanos's, gauntlet.
Yeah, and it is really cool. I mean, it is really cool.
Whenever it's up there, I'll probably post it tomorrow on the page.
So look for that shirt online. Another special thank you to our Patreon followers. We are very grateful for everything that you do. The boxes are going to be going out almost immediately after Cost Plus shipping, which is a perfect time for us because if you participate in Cost Plus shipping and you win something and you get your box, man, you could get like 5 pop. That's all the announcements this week. Lengthy, but worth it. The news, the title of the episode, as we've already said, policies suck and so do the people that exploit them. And this is where my negative rant begins, ladies and gentlemen. This week, and more importantly today, a lot of stuff has happened to anger me. And when I'm angry, I am like, what's that guy's name off of Parks and Rec?
Which one?
Duke Silver and Nick Offerman's character. Ron Swanson. There you go. I'm like Ron Swanson when I'm angry. I don't even think that's the truth, but anyways. My rant is about Hot Topic and the policies that they've constantly changed. So a couple of things happen to me that kind of lead up to this. And I'm not bashing Hot Topic, maybe a little bit, but just enough so you can hear what I'm saying. If you're listening, Hot Topic, and you're a person, we'll just call you Hot Topic. I would say your name is like Ben or Bill or something, but we'll keep your
Trent.
name.
I think if Hot Topic was a person, it would be Trent.
Didn't they make like a Hot Topic employee pop or something? Like
there was a Hot Topic guy, yes.
Yes. So Hot Topic guy, I'm talking to you. So your policies suck, right? I mean, let's cut all the crap around this. Is wash this clean and just break it down to the bare level. Your policies suck. Let's start with policy number 1, and that is your price matching. I can't price match anything. I go in there and I go, hey, do you price match this? And they're like, no, we don't price match that. Barnes & Noble, no, we don't price match that. If the box of Mystery Minis says exclusive on it, we don't price match that. If our box is an exclusive and their box isn't, we don't price match that. And it's just frustrating. It's like, hey, we price match, but here's a list of 31 things, and I've touched on this before, that prevent us from price matching. So you don't price match. They price match, congratulations, on Olaf Pops. And as long as the Olaf Pops aren't on clearance, they'll price match you. So congratulations. You can go out and buy yourself an $8.50 Olaf Pop. Give yourself a round of applause. The second part of why their policies suck, and I'm trying to keep this episode short, but gosh, I love you guys so much. We just want to bring you this great content. It was hard to keep it under an hour, but believe me, I always try. The second part of their policy is this overnight hold policy. Now, I will give a disclaimer. When this first came out, I was kind of for it a little bit because I was like the guy that's like, it's the only one I wanted, and they put it out at 3 p.m., and a dude follows around the UPS driver. So now the dude that follows around the UPS driver just gets there at 1 o'clock in the morning and waits all night until the store opens. So there's no difference in the people that are there to flip pop, or their spouses or their moms or their kids or their friends that come with them, whoever. Now there's people in our area that got like 6 of the Hades chases. There's people in San Antonio are waiting outside of the store on the street in a tent when employees leave to get a pop that will be worth $50 or $65 or whatever you think, but it's not going to be $100. It's not going to stay $100. So don't fool yourself out there. But I
don't 100% hate the new policy about like holding pops until the next day. Like, because I'm one of the people that, I can be there in the morning. I don't have time nor the schedule to just be like, yeah, I'm going to follow this dude around and wait for him to come in. So I like the fact I know, okay, when it's going to be. Now, with our Hot Topic, I don't have the patience for the fact that they're posting when they get chases in. So I'm going to have to deal with a line. Because on a normal basis, I probably wouldn't have to fight with that because, there's just, again, there's not a whole lot of people in our area, but, that's my major qualm.
Well, and I'll tap onto that because I was going there, right? Yeah, the morning policy sucks. And that's because that's my version of how I view it. Now, if you can get off of work or you work on second shift and you can be there at 10 o'clock in the morning. This policy is great for you, and it's benefited you for about a year now. It's almost been a year that they've done this policy. So you've had your time in the sun, Pipers and everyone out there. Now it's my time to shine again. So let's turn the policy back. No, let's not turn the policy back the way it was. Let's do this, right? How do we compromise in a way that it benefits everyone and completely makes it random? You can't do it.
Lottery.
No, can't even do it because the standards that they have to follow have to be company wide, and you have to with a policy of purchasing things, it gets too convoluted. So how do you do something effectively? You can't, right? I cannot possibly benefit everyone, but how do you make it the most fair? I want to hear from you guys. I mean, hit us up at info@popcollectorsalliance.com. Let us know what you think. Tweet at us at Pop Alliance Pod. Hit us up on Facebook and message us. I want to know what you think this is. Let's compile the data and put something forth. But my personal opinion is, how do you do it? If you get 5 Hades chases in, you put them out at random times during the day. You hold them in the back, and then at 1 o'clock you come out and you just throw it in the shelf. And you come back out at 6 o'clock and you throw it on the shelf. You have one there in the morning and you put it out there randomly, completely random. No one knows when you have chases. Don't announce the pop that you get. I know that it's a tricky, I want to say tricky, whatever, but you're walking on thin ice. It's a catch-22. You're never
slippery slope.
Yeah. Slippery slope. You're not going to benefit everyone, right? I mean, that's inherent, and people are going to complain no matter what. The thing is people file false complaints with Hot Topic. They do all of this malicious stuff when in reality, they're just upset because they're not going to be able to sell a pop. Now, with that being said, you can compromise and do that, or you can choose to continue to do this policy, but it doesn't change the fact that it sucks for some people and doesn't for others. But I would say universally, as time has passed, and something I always caution Funko too. Funko has always kind of been on the fence about the secondary market. But the truth of the matter is that the secondary market now is starting to tip the scales in their favor. And once the secondary market continues to do that, you're going to get a lot of disgruntled collectors, because we as collectors do not want to pay markup prices constantly for every single thing that comes out. And it's beginning to be that way. I mean, when Flocked Bugs Bunny sells out in 20 seconds or wherever it sold out in like a minute or two, that's ridiculous. I mean, completely sold out. And then next day, $40, $40, $40, $40, $40. And the next week, it's Toxic Rick and Toxic Morty, $40, $40, $40, $40. People don't want to continue paying that price. And you're going to have a flock of disgruntled collectors that are going to go against you, right?
Yeah, maybe, but it's not going to stop people from doing it. People are going to complain, and then they're going to pull their wallet out. That's kind of the trend that
I was saying. There's a breaking point.
There will be, but I don't see it in the near future at all, because like there's the people who I think probably traditionally would not have taken advantage of people are doing it now because it is the norm. So when it becomes just financially like just ridiculous, that's when that's going to happen. And right now, the general rule is something's going to come out. All these flippers are going to buy it up, right? Just we've seen it before, and stuff will sell for, like right now, Hades is selling for $100. But we all know if we wait, that's going to drop off because people are going to either not spend the money, or they're going to feel the same way that we do, and they're just going to hold off. And then it will drop down, and then you'll be able to get it. And granted, it's still going to be high, but that's not a really good example because it's a store.
No, I think that's the perfect example, really. I mean, and that's what I was going to next. I mean, we're flowing. We're in the same swim lane.
I'm saying not a good example because of the item it is. I think that because it's a store exclusive chase. I think Bugs Bunny is a better example because when it first came out, it was $40. but you waited 2 weeks, it dropped down to like 26, which that is a more, to me, if you want to buy something off eBay, then spending $26, that's not that bad.
Well, I mean, and now he's $18.
Exactly. So you just have to wait. It's a waiting game.
But that's what I'm saying. Can you be? You're exactly right. You're hitting the nail on the head. We're in the same swim lane here. You're leading right to my next point, is that it's our power as collectors to decide whether or not to do this. And as more and more collectors get in there and say, I'm not going to purchase this, I'm not going to purchase that, just give me a couple weeks, which is very hard to do in this community, might I say. But you do it, it's going to deter people for it, because I can guarantee you, if somebody has to sit outside of a Hot Topic for something they're going to sell for $40, they're not going to do it. Not going to happen. Now, things they can waffle for $200, you bet you're behind they're going to do that. So,
yeah, of course.
And that you're right, Piper. It's something that I always tie back, and that's just my rant, right? It's just what I'm seeing, and I'm sorry if you're alienating 50% of a collector community. And believe me, when you only release things in the morning, you're alienating 50% of the collector community. You are. I mean, it's just the way it is.
If not more.
Yeah. When you're alienating that amount of people, it's not a beneficial policy. And Hot Topic needs to pay attention to what they're doing and find a compromise. Maybe that compromise is saying, hey, we're going to put half of our chases out when we get them from our shipment. We're going to hold on to the other half for the morning, so it benefits both people. But if those same flippers are people who don't work and they just make money on that, they're just going to be there in the morning and the evening. So again, my original point, it can't be perfect, but you suck at it right now. Part of what we do as pop collectors, and I think a majority of people out there listening to this podcast are going to agree with me on this, is that we hunt. We love to hunt. We love to go into stores. We love to see BrickSeek update and run to the store and see if we can find it, and the joy that brings us. We love to go to Toys R Us and being surprised by a chase that we didn't know was there, or a Barnes & Noble and find an awesome deal in clearance and all of that, right? That's what we like to do. When that now becomes you waiting outside of a store and that's your hunt, you're not hunting. It's like you are using grenades to go fishing. And it's not hunting anymore. I mean, I think everyone can agree with me on that. When you are waiting 9 hours outside of a store for a $50 pop, you're no longer hunting. You're not hunting.
The one kind of silver lining I can see here, though, is at least it's only one store. At least this is not the trend across the board. You're not going to see Walmart doing this. You're not going to see Walmart couldn't do it, but you're not going to see Barnes & Noble doing it. You're not going to see Books A Million doing it. You're not going to see FYE doing it. It is limited just to Hot Topic because they think they've found a solution, and that's what they're doing. This is their little experiment to see how it works. And maybe it's not an experiment. Maybe it's permanent, but it's limiting just to that. So we still have that feeling is still preserved, just not at the one prime location that gets all the really good stuff, So, I mean, yeah, I'm still going to be able to hunt at Barnes & Noble. I'm still going to torture myself and hunt at Walmart, even though I know nothing is ever going to be there except for the same 4 Rogue One pops and a bunch of Steves from Minecraft.
Pick me. The claw. The claw.
Oh my, there's so many of them.
There's too many. And
why did they order so many? Who did that?
It's Walmart.
What manager was like, we need 700 Steves?
And it's not just at one store, it's at every store.
Every store.
They made 200,000 Steves. So his pop price guide value is 12 cents.
Walmart exclusive, limited to 700,000.
12 cents on pop price guide. They're giving them away.
Really?
It's actually negative value. It's like, we will pay you to take this pop.
So Olaf has more value than Steve?
No, I don't know. I'm just making that up completely. But it would be very funny to go in there and see that. Like, this is Walmart. We will pay you $10 to take this pop. It's negative on us. But I mean,
it's a good deal.
I'm not going to say any more on Hot Topic. I like that Hot Topic tried to meet with the collector. So that's it. that closes out Hot Topic this week. The Novice Series, the moment everyone's been waiting for, a big step and leap in the show's history, because we are going to bring the Novice Series to you to help some of these beginner collectors out there and maybe polish some skills of the experienced collectors as well. That's what we're geared for, and sort of set new trends in the pop collecting community. That is our goal with the Novice Series. This is the Novice Series Volume 1, How to Price Your Pop. Now, I want to start with everyone has their own pricing methodology and the way that they feel that something's worth something, right? Because if you really want something that you need, like me in Game of Thrones, you may pay over Pop Price Guide, even though that's dumb to do. But again, that can overrule it, and that's perfectly fine. But
I think that's something that we need to first establish, is the fact that a lot of people get confused on value, okay? Because these are not like, you can't take Pop Price Guide as like the same standard of like, okay, this is retail value on something, okay? No, that's not how this works. When you price an item, it is all completely based on what a person sets, like personally. Like every any kind of like collection or anything like that, yeah, there's a kind of a standard rule that says like, okay, this is what this item should be worth around. But it honestly comes down to, like you just said, the value that somebody puts on it, what's somebody willing to pay for an item. Just because, Pop Price Guide says that an item is worth $15, honestly, if it's not worth that to me, then that's not what it's worth. And people need to kind of get that feeling of, oh, PPG or Popspedia says it's this much, so this is how much it costs. That is not a good way to approach pricing.
Yeah, and that's the main reason of doing this, is how do I price my pop? It's a question that I get asked more than probably any question out there, other than where do I find pop at, and how do I obtain a piece? But pricing is so crucial and vital to everyone out there, because in order to negotiate, if you can negotiate and not buying at a store, you need to understand what true value is. And true value is what the pop means to you, of course, but also based on what the pop collectively means to everybody else. And that's where we get a price that is derived from eBay or private party sales, not in the case of Popspedia or Pop Price Guide, but in general, that's what tends to happen. I want to go over my rating system. Everyone's rating system is their own, but these are sort of general guidelines. And I think they're comprised of all of the people that I've talked to through the history that I've had in the pop collecting community, that are typically universally agreed upon when you rate things. I'm going to go through my rating system first, and then we'll tie that to percentages and break everything else down. So I go off of a 1 to 10 rating scale, or 10 to 1 for the case of this, 10 being what we call minty fresh. And even with a level 10 minty fresh, I love doing that, pop, you can have some manufacturer errors in there. Not significant ones that are totally crazy, but there are often like small creases that may be pushed in on the back that aren't really visible unless you shimmer light on them. There could be your front window is curved, opposed to having that crisp corner that you may see in some pop. And also a slight bow in the front, because the insert has pushed the side of the pop through maybe just a little bit, not a lot. So I would consider those all being a 10, right? You agree, Piper?
Yes, that is a fair assumption that those are 10s.
So for a 9, this is where we start seeing small, minute imperfections. So maybe a tiny fold. So on the top and the bottom of every box, the lid, when it comes out, there's these 2 little tiny tabs that piss all of us off when we open things. And they can get slight frays or tiny bends in those. Those things being bent, or maybe a tiny corner ding, not even a real corner ding, but like maybe a flattened off corner that it just landed on the side of it. And then maybe some minor window scratching, very, very, very minor here. And that's typically what I rate as a 9 pop. When you get down in the 8s and 7s, you're starting to see more of like the shelf wear that appears. You'll have on an 8, you might have one or more corner dings, and maybe some more scratch dinged plastic on an 8. Definitely some shelf wear though. And then I always put slight fraying on corners, because when people put pop on top of other pop, or they stack it on a shelf and they don't put it in a protector, what tends to happen on the top front and bottom front corners is that you'll see a little bit of fraying. Like it sticks out, kind of like where the paint is rubbed off of the cardboard, and it pokes through on that. For 7s, you start to notice more of these things. So you'll have maybe slight tears there instead of the fraying, real tiny tears for when people, out of box collectors do it a lot. When they pull the pops out, they'll bend that top lid forward and you'll get small tears in there. You'll get dings in the boxes here, maybe a crease or something on the back. You have more noticeable shelf wear, although it's not severe. I always say minor discoloration. And that could be if it's in a store or a shop where it was there and it was in the sun, you might see a little of that, like discoloration and plastic scratching as well in the window. 6, if a pop is rated 6 or below, you're going to have major shelf wear at this point. This is where these are a lot of like Game of Thrones pops that people bought in 2014, and they've just maybe been on a move with them, and they've been in and out of boxes, and you've got some more significant shelf wear. You've got bends or bows in the front plastic. I always say front glass or display or whatever. What do you say, Piper?
I don't ever know what to call it. The plasticky part.
That's the same thing, man. That's the same thing.
Window.
The window
pane.
The front winder. So if your front winder has got some significant bows or bends in it and some discoloration as well in these, and then you'll start to see some more tears. So sometimes you get deep corner tears, and that happens at a 6. Now a 5, this is where it's like, oh man, is this box even going to be good enough? You have sun damage, significant shelf wear to the point that some of the images are being rubbed off. You got maybe the writing on the bottom you can't see anymore. Maybe even some water damage here where people like, oh, let me put this down in this water ring that's on my countertop and didn't know it. And then significant tears.
So this would be like if you have your son sit on your pop in the car and crush it.
That was at home, Gollum, or shut your Grady twins in the door, or
either one of those. Would those would qualify as like a 5?
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for reminding me. Keep that fresh in my mind for me. But that's a good example of a 5. And then a 4. At this point, the box is really like, is this even usable at that point? 4s, you see them in Walmart a lot of times. Some dude went around and crushed all of the Cuphead exclusives in one of the Walmarts here just to be a complete, I'm not even going to say it, PG. Just to be a complete... Yeah. And then, just ruin stuff. So at this point, you really don't even want to keep it. And then from 3 to 1, I didn't even rate that.
Might as well not even buy it.
Yeah, because at that point, you're out of box, right? It's just out of box. It's like my dog chewed it up. I stabbed it with a knife because I got 15 Predators in my GameStop boxes. Those things happen. So I never recommend even keeping a box at that level. I say throw it out. Find a replacement. It's going to benefit you anyway, way you look at it. So do you have anything else you want to add there, Piper, to just a general rating system?
No, I mean, I follow pretty close to what you do. I'm not as, this is something else that also I think kind of has to be pointed out, is that I myself am not as picky on my boxes, even though I'm an inbox collector completely, like through and through, but I'm not going to be as upset about something or be less willing to purchase something if there is some slight damage, if it's going to look okay on my shelf. Okay. But I know you are very, very particular about how your boxes look. You're along the lines of, a box Nazi. as I've heard you say numerous times.
Yeah, I am.
So, my scales are going to fluctuate a little more than yours do. I wouldn't even say I work on like a 10-point scale. Mine is more like a 5-point scale because, I am going to be a little more lenient because if it's something I want, then it's going to be something I want. I just went to my black and white Pete. I got it from Walmart and it was just destroyed. And instead of returning it, I was just like, you know what? I'll just take it out of the box. I'm fine with it. And now it's just like a display piece. It's one of the few that I have that's out of box. But I was fine with that. So it really, again, a lot of this is personal choice. But yeah, I'm going to say that most of what you said, I follow the same.
Yeah, and I want to encourage everybody to use this list. You don't have to. You can make it your own, but use the system. You'll see where it comes into play here in a second. So with percentages, they're tied to value, right? And these percentages are tied to the ratings. And not a lot of people do this. This is going to benefit you, right? Even if you're not as strict on boxes as I may be, this will benefit you. This system and getting you the true value of what a pop should be worth. Because let me tell you, every other collectible item, baseball cards, comic books, Beanie Babies, different things, they follow a value system anyways. Hot Wheels and how boxes are put together and other toys, they follow a value system that's tied uniquely to the condition of the box and the item, right? And that's how they have this wavering scale. And with pop, that's not the case right now. So let's get something started with. So on my 10-point system, the way that I deal with this is if something is a 10, you should always consider paying 100% of the value of whatever that item is, because a lot, especially in the Grail world, and disclaimer, these rules don't always apply to the huge Grails, because if I have a 1 in 12 Freddy Funko whatever, and it's in excellent shape, which is probably one of the hardest things to find, you better believe I'm not going to follow Price Guide or any of these rating systems, because it's not worth it to me. At that point, it's truly worth what someone will honestly pay for it, and anyone else's input really does not matter. We're on the level of auctions at that point. But as for my rating system, I generally say pops that are like $250, $200 and below, this works excellent on. So with a 9, I always rate it that you should pay 90 to 95% of the value of the pop. That's your sort of negotiation range. If you get less than that, better for you. But if you fall within that window, you didn't overpay. You did a good job. With 8s, I always say 85 to 90% of the value of the pop. Again, if you get less, it's better. And I'm going to put all these values on the show notes this week so you can sort of look at it. And for Patreon followers, it's going to be in your bonus, the Pop Hunters Field Guide that we put out later this year. So kudos to you. But for 7s, 80 to 85%. For 6s, I try to stay between 70 and 80%. As you see, we go down, the value varies even more, because when you get into that 6 and 7 range, that is where the bulk of sort of your vaulted older items fall, within a 6 and a 7. So you can pretty much flex in that window and you'll be fine. 5s, 60 to 70% of the value, especially if it's like original boxes and things that there's tricks and tips that we're going to give away later that can maybe help you in fixing your box. But 60 to 70% for a 5 rating, 50 to 60% for a 4. And then for 3 and below, it doesn't matter again, because it's out of box at that point. And my rating system for an out of box, and I'll ask Piper if he agrees with me on this, but out of box, I always put 50% of the value or lower, depending on the pop. And maybe people, for those big items, again, this doesn't apply to those. This is for these smaller Grails and smaller pops. 50% of the value or lower, depending on if the pop has a nail sticking through its head or not.
I've always heard I heard a lot of people, say different things, but the kind of like majority I've heard is between 35 to 50% of the value is in the box.
Again, it depends on what that pop means to you on how you pay, but
Absolutely.
a general rule, start at 50 and negotiate from there. And that's your starting point. I mean, it's going to help you. And just say, hey, look, it's out of box. I think 50% of the value of the pop is fair. Or if it's got damage, I think 35% of the pop value is fair. And if he counters at 60, then you work towards the middle. And in the end, you may get the deal that you want anyways. So use these percentages to your favor. Combine them with the rating system as you rate it. and use that as sort of a negotiating tool for yourself. In next week's episode in the Novice Series Volume 2, we're going to talk more about negotiating. And this valuing your pop ties into the negotiation tactic. And you can use all of this as a negotiation tactic, right? So when you're putting together what is my pop truly worth when I want to trade it to somebody, do a self-assessment, right? Take the condition of what your pop is, the percentage of what it is, and then our new formula, because Pop Price Guide and Popspedia are in different sides of the planet on how they want to price pop right now. But we kind of threw together a formula that I think is going to get you about in your maximum range, right? So with Popspedia, they tend to be higher on the, you said it to me, Piper, when we were talking earlier this week. They're higher on the lower end pops because what their median, they go by a median instead of an average or an average. Which
yeah, one? So that's kind of how Popspedia works. Is they pull a median, so that means like you take the highest sold item within a period of time and the lowest sold item, and you hit right in the middle, and that's what they set their value at. Which that can be a huge problem because if there's like something sells for like crazy low for some reason, you're going to affect everything. Whereas with Pop Price Guide, they take an average. So you look at a period of time, you take all of the items that have sold, you add them up, and you divide them by however many items that is. That to me, that's going to give you more of a real world price as opposed to like just a wildly asinine, like crazy number. So that's how it works.
Exactly. And with all of the different formulas that people use to calculate price, eBay sales, whatever you put in there, the big thing is to remember that Popspedia has a price, Pop Price Guide has a price, and there's an eBay price for what the thing is selling for. So I recommend that you use this formula. You take the Popspedia price, you add the Pop Price Guide price, and you add the most recent sale or the average of 3 or 4 sales from eBay. You add those 3 numbers together, you get a price. That's your price ceiling for a pop that is a 10. Then you multiply that by the condition of the price. So an example would be our average from Pop Price Guide Popspedia in the last 3 sales of something is $100. It just happened to be that round number of 100, but it's a 7. What should I pay for that? Well, from what we gave you and checking on our website and show notes that a 7 should be paid between 80 and 85% of the value. And that's sort of your negotiation space. And if you want to shoot for 75% and you think you can get that deal, don't ever be afraid to ask. Just tell the person with you, say, hey, the most I really want to spend right now is this. Don't be offended by this offer. And then give them your backup. Say, hey, I rate this pop a 7. The box is damaged here, there. It's worth about this much. If you sell it on eBay anyways, you're going to incur eBay fees. So let's negotiate this price out and see where that takes you. And if you end up at the end of the day at 78% instead of the 80 and 85% we said to go between, you just won, right? So just sort of a general rule, and I'll say the formula again. You take the Popspedia price, you add the Pop Price Guide price, you add maybe the last sale on eBay or an average of 4 sales on eBay, divide those numbers to get your price average, and then multiply that by the condition percentage of the pop.
I think it's also, we need to stress the fact that it's recently sold, not recently posted, because I can't tell you how many times I've run into people that try to sell something and they're like, oh, well, it's selling for $900 on eBay. I said, well, yeah, I could post it for $1 million on eBay, but that's not what it's sold for. So it's really important that people use the last sold feature, the filter, so they can actually get what's sold, not what was posted.
Exactly.
There's some people that still don't know that, which it's surprising, especially in a collector community. But then again, it could be just people pretending to be dumb.
Well, and a lot of people too, they're just afraid to ask questions, and the person they may or may not be buying it from is intimidating. But let me tell you, if you take what we're giving you right here, you have the ammunition that you need. And take it from someone who has bought pop, like myself, from people who's negotiated. I've coached people on what they should pay for pop. Piper can attest to that. Piper has coached me on it too. I've coached my friends on it. But let me tell you something. If you follow these general rules, and it's something I've been working to that I haven't shared with anyone, and I'm sharing with our audience. If you follow these rules, you're going to get things for better value. I mean, you really are. And I can almost stamp a guarantee seal of approval on it, because if you have information and when you go to negotiate, and we'll get to that next week in the Novice Series, but if you have the information, you have the power. And if you display that power of knowledge with confidence to the salesperson or whoever's selling it, it's going to show, right? And you're going to get the price that you want because it's the price you deserve. You're not ripping somebody off. And something that's bothered me in the Funko community for a long time is that people with damaged pops that aren't super grails are going to hold you to a price, and that's not the price that you should be paying. Now, if it's like a San Diego Comic-Con Spider-Man or a San Diego Comic-Con Ghost Rider and it's a 7, if you pay 100% value for that pop price guide, you're not getting a bad deal. I mean, that it's just the case of those super grails, and this doesn't apply to those. This applies to those items that may cost you $50, $100, some of the smaller grails that you've had your eyes on, but it really helps with it. And I hope that you take this to heart, and I can guarantee you it's going to work for you. So just an overview of what we said before. It's the 10-point rating system from 10 to 1. 3 to 1 doesn't really matter because you should have it out of box at that point. Out of box pops, shoot for 50% or lower and start your negotiations there based on the condition of the pop. When you're done with all that and you want to find the value, take that and put that into the formula. The value of Popspedia plus the value of Pop Price Guide plus the sales on eBay, recent sales. Like Piper said, don't go for listings because we all know that jerk out there that's like, well, it's $500 on eBay. I did that a week ago, Piper, when I went to go get Renly Baratheon, $500 for a $200 pop. Oh, that's what they got it listed for. Well, I could go at home and list it for $1 million. Are you going to put it up for $1 million? I should have done that.
You'd be like, well, I'll sell you a pop for $1 million. I got one at home.
Just put it for like $1,000 and see if he bites. Just be like, yep, it went up to $1,000 on eBay. No, I put that there. Jerk. So follow these guidelines, follow these rules. We're going to have it on the website. We highly encourage you to go to the website. If you like what you hear, tell us. If you disagree with what you hear, or you want to put some more insight to some of the ratings and things that we're doing, we like to hear back from our audience, because when we build this pop field guide, the Hunter's Field Guide, what we want to do is take a collective knowledge base and put that forth to the community, because something that we always stand behind at the Pop Collectors Alliance is building a strong community. And by letting us know what your opinions are, you help refine the overall output of what we throw together. And for that, it's going to benefit a larger audience in the end. So hit us up at info@popcollectorsalliance.com. Tell us what you think. Twitter and Instagram at Pop Alliance Pod. On Facebook at facebook.com/popcollectorsalliance. And our website, popcollectorsalliance.com. So we like to do collector stories of the week from time to time. And if you listen to the podcast early on, it was comprised mainly of my stories or Piper's stories or things that we saw on Facebook. We've been getting emails from people, and we want to start weeding through those. We apologize for not getting to them sooner, but hey, if you have a pop collector story or a funny story or just anything in general that deals with collecting Funko or anything that Funko's involved in, hit us up at info@popcollectorsalliance.com. Tell us your story, and we'll read it on the air. And I'm going to hand it over to Piper for this one.
Hey, Rick and Piper. I just wanted to say thank you for creating and bringing together this awesome community of collectors. I've met tons of new people, and the Patreon Discord is a great group of people. I should also preface that this guy's name is Justin. I did a bad job reading.
It's okay.
Anyway, so Justin's story. He says, my story is about how a girl from Australia helped me get these 3 Chrome Marvel Pop exclusives. So we all have seen them in the groups. They were for the... what was it? Avengers?
Infinity War, yeah.
Infinity War, yeah. So they had some special events in Australia that were it was being like hosted by Pop Culture. So you got this chance to get it was like 3 Chrome figures. His name was like
Thanos, Spider-Man, Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah,
Bam! Look at that.
So and they're pretty expensive right now. So girl in Australia helped him get these exclusives. Originally, I was just going for the red Spidey, but as I thought about it, I would be really neat if I had all three to have next to their common counterparts. She not only managed to get me all three in mint condition, but she didn't charge me an arm and a leg for them like several other people were doing. My original offer was $100 plus shipping for just Spider-Man, but she went above and beyond and accepted my offer for all three for just $200 plus shipping, which that's a really good price.
Unless they go to $12 a piece.
That's true. Whilst everyone else was charging about $200 per at the lowest price, she only charged me a total of 254 Australia dollars, which was like 15 United States dollars. No,
what is that? Paper money?
What is that even? Is that $100 for a Ghost Eye store? Anyway, about $204 US after the shipping costs. Which honestly, I mean, I ship stuff from Australia and it's pretty expensive. So he is so grateful that there are fellow collectors out there that are willing to help each other out, no matter the distance between them. These pieces will look amazing with all of my other Marvel Pops and the rest of the Infinity War lineup once they're released. I hope you all have a great week. And to Rick, I hope you're having a great time at Emerald City, which this is obviously a very old email. So there you go, Rick. There's a little shout out to you. I hope that Emerald City went well. The end.
Thanks, Justin. And I don't think that these pops are going to be worth $12 a piece. Congratulations for getting those pops. I'm very envious of you. I just am holding out so that I hope I don't have to pay a lot for them. But again, you may never know.
It would be nice if they weren't released here, so the people that did actually spend that much money for them, they got a cool little piece that, you know, it's a cool talking point. Like, oh, look at that freaking awesome Chrome set I got right there that you can't have.
Look at that Thor. Look at that Thor. Look at him.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know. Is that what I'm gonna be saying?
Look at that Thor.
No, I'm not. I didn't say that. I have heard, like when I was reading Pop Culture, they had said that they're not even selling those on their website. They're not going to have them in the store. It's only at these events in Australia.
We just need friends in Australia. That's what we need.
Asking for though, right? Haven't we been saying we want Funko to do some more truly exclusive things? So there are items that not everybody's going to have.
So if you hear this, Funko, do not make them in the U.S. Don't do it.
Please don't.
Exactly.
Just for Justin's sake. So,
and if you're listening to this in Australia and you need friends and you're like at home and you're playing with the deadly animals they have around there, like crocodiles and brown snakes spiders. And like spiders and stuff, and you're like, man, I need a friend. You have a friend in us as long as you buy us pop. So
send us those Chrome Infinity Wars pops.
We need to make friends in Australia.
I have a friend in New Zealand.
We have a podcast on the network in Australia. I need to Gareth's Random Ramblings. Shout out to Gareth's Random Ramblings.
Tell him to go and go to these things and get us these pops. They had 1 million of them there.
Yeah, you can.
I saw the pictures from these events. They had just like a giant truck full.
It's like, what do you do for a living? I drive a pop truck and people follow me everywhere. But no, Gareth, if you're listening, and everyone who's listening to this, Gareth's Random Ramblings is on the Astro Panda Productions Network. You can check out his show. He's in Australia. Be our pop friend. Be our pop friend. You can follow him on Twitter at GRRPod. Man, I'm giving all kinds of drops today. So everyone, it has been a long week, and I ended this on a positive note. I'm really excited about this Novice series because I think it's going to go a long way to helping out people out there. And I know that some of this information can be kind of fleshed out and boring, but know that it's going to benefit you. That's what it's all about. Is truly,
just fight through it.
Yeah, just fight through it. And if my voice annoys you, then just listen to it on 1.5 speed, and you'll get through things a lot faster. And maybe, listen to it while you're asleep at night, and you'll get some like osmosis on top of your iPad, and it'll sink in your head. But we're going to have it on our website anyways to benefit everything. So as we always like to close the show, please rate and review our podcast on iTunes if you haven't already. It goes a long way in pushing the word out there about the Pop Collectors Alliance. If you have any friends, families, twins, symbiotes that are attached to you, drop the pop in the box. Deadpool, Venom Pop, number 2. Symbiotes attached to you, please have them rate and review our podcast too, because again, it goes a long way.
As long as they have their own iTunes account.
Exactly. Their own iTunes account. If you're on the same iTunes account, then it doesn't do anything for us. But if you can get other people to rate and review the podcast, because this is an amazing podcast, hashtag not humble.
We didn't ever say the podcast is on Spotify now.
Oh yeah, yay, Spotify. I missed it until the end, so it's so depressing. But
super sad. I know nobody's gonna get that unless we have a lot of people that listen all the way through, but you're gonna have to wait till the end. It's really exciting. A lot of people have been asking to get it on Spotify because they don't have iTunes or they don't like to use Google Play or whatever. So now it's pretty much everywhere. There's a couple more stragglers that we're working on getting the podcast on, but right now it's pretty much on everything.
Yeah, we're blowing up right now, everybody, and it's because of you guys. So thank you very much. Boom, boom, boom. I just love pushing it. I love pushing that button. And this is like, yeah. It's like house party music. There you go. But no, thanks everybody for joining us again on the Pop Collectors Alliance. You can see us at Fan Expo Dallas, April 6th through 8th, booth 449, my friends. We're going to be there. We're going to be partying up, doing house music, backflips off of the rafters in the convention. No, I'm just joking. But we'll be there, be square, and we'll be talking about Funko Pop. So until next time, my friends, we leave the no flip zone. And I will see you next time. My name is Rick.
I'm Piper.
Good night.
Fun collecting.
I love you.